Welcome back. As always, be sure to leave a comment if you have any answer to this video, any comments about the channel in general, or if you have any topics you want me to make a future video on, let me know down in the comments. Also be sure to check out my other channel, YC Games. It's one with the orange logo. That's more gameplay, funny moment stuff over there, so if you're into that, be sure to check it out. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. So, I was just looking back at some of my old videos, and I realized that August of 2018, so you know, a very long time ago, I made a video about Titanfall 2, saying, does it deserve another chance? And I don't actually remember what I said in that video, but I believe it was very much about, very positively, yes, you should give it another chance. It's a very fun game. It's always on sale. And I just want more people playing it because it is absolutely amazing. And it just got a bad batch. So, if you've already seen that video, which pretty much no one did, so probably not, it's basically going to be the same thing for this video, but I want to say it again, because this month, December 2019, it is the free month on PlayStation Plus. So now there's literally no excuse not to at least try it, because it is a fun time. Obviously, if I'm playing it a year after I thought no one else was playing it, because that's why I made that first video, was because I thought no one else was playing it, and I'm still playing it well over a year afterwards, it's a pretty fun game. So that's what this video is going to be about. Me basically telling you why you should be playing this game. So obviously, you've heard of Titanfall 2, I'm assuming. It's not a completely uncommon game. It's not so obscure, like just in the deepest recesses of the internet, you've maybe heard a whisper of it. No, it's a fairly well-known game. And what's even more well-known is its absolute botched launch at the hands of EA. Now, this game was made by Respawn, more recently known for Jedi Fallen Order or Apex Legends, depending on what kind of game you play. Both solid games. You know, I've been enjoying the hell out of Jedi Fallen Order. It's a great game. And I like Respawn in general, so that really didn't surprise me, the fact that it's such a good game. And Apex Legends is fun. I'm not a huge fan of Battle Royale in general, but if I'm going to play a Battle Royale, I don't mind playing Apex Legends. You know, my buddies are like, hey, let's play a Battle Royale. Alright, I'll jump on Apex Legends. It's alright. So, the fact that this game had such a botched launch really pisses me off, because it's from such a good developer, in my eyes. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You may absolutely hate them. I think they're good developers. They make solid games, so it really makes me mad what happened at the launch. So, for those of you that are unaware of what happened, when Titanfall 2 was set to come out, there was very little advertisement for it because it was not a known franchise. It wasn't something that was going to make EA big money like a lot of other franchises do. It had the potential to, obviously, because I'm still talking about it today and I love the game, but it had the potential to be so great, and EA just botched it by not promoting it at all. But even worse than that, they set it to release between the two biggest first-person shooters of that year. It was set like a week after whatever Call of Duty came out that year, and a week before their own Battlefield game. I believe it was Battlefield 1, and I think Call of Duty Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare. One of them, one of the kind of irrelevant Call of Duties, if I'm being frank. But still, a Call of Duty nonetheless. One of the biggest franchises in first-person shooters ever. So anything released around that time, especially another first-person shooter, is going to have some stiff competition. It's not going to be able to compete with such heavy hitters like that. Even if you're not a Call of Duty fan, you at least know of Call of Duty. Everyone knows of Call of Duty. And Battlefield may not be as popular. I would argue it's a more solid shooter. Typically, I'm not going to get into that debate today, because obviously they both have their share of very terrible games. But even still, any first-person shooter launching anywhere near either of those two games is just being set up to fail. And that's exactly what happened to Titanfall 2. Not only was it set up like close to one of those games, it was literally between both of them. It was a week after Call of Duty and a week before Battlefield. Why would they do that? And EA owns Battlefield! They did it to their own game! Are they actually stupid? Like, that just still makes me mad. And it was years ago now. That just absolute brain-dead, piss-poor decision-making at EA was years ago. But it still makes me mad because it ruined, honestly, probably my favorite first-person shooter of the generation. Other than Rainbow Six. I gotta give it to Rainbow Six, but that's a whole other discussion for another day. But yeah, this had the potential to be an amazing game, and they just absolutely botched it because EA is so brain dead and doesn't know how to make money that they're so focused on making money in the greediest, dumbest ways possible rather than actually exploring new ideas and giving anything that's actually good the chance to breathe. But that's a whole other discussion for another day. Because obviously EA has been run to the dirt by now. And yeah, they're basically just hot garbage of a company. Moving on. Now I understand not everyone's going to love this game. I like it because it's so different. It's unique. Especially in the just planes of first-person shooters that we get pretty much on a weekly basis, it feels like sometimes. Titanfall 2 stands out because it's so different. You might look at the gameplay, well, it's a first-person shooter. There's not much to it. Yeah, they got mechs. That's unique. They got the Titans that are mechs. And that's unique. But it's a futuristic first-person shooter. And I say you're wrong. Yes, it has mechs. That is like the kind of the biggest selling point of it. Like, hey, it's like Call of Duty, but we're in mechs. That's not all a good description. It's nothing like Call of Duty. And that's why I love it, is because it's nothing like Call of Duty. Now, I like Call of Duty. I'm not going to bash you for liking Call of Duty. It's a solid franchise. But it's just gotten stale over the years. It's gotten incredibly stale. And that's why I like Titanfall 2. It's still a first-person shooter, first and foremost, but it's got solid shooting. It leans heavy into the futuristic aspect. It's not just like, oh, we're going near the future, like how Call of Duty tried to do, like with like Black Ops 3 and 4 and Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare. They dipped their toe into the futuristic aspect, and people didn't like that, and for good reason, because that wasn't Call of Duty. However, this isn't trying to be Call of Duty. This is not realistic. It's not supposed to be. Is it a potential future of warfare? I suppose, but I doubt it. Like they just go in some really weird directions as far as like the gunplay and whatnot. So yeah, it's outlandish. It's a ridiculous concept that's based pretty much nowhere in reality, and that's great. It's a video game. It doesn't have to be based on anything. It doesn't have to be realistic. It's just a good time, solid shooting, good mechanics, a great idea, and the whole switching between Titans and pilots. It's great. But what this game really does right, for me at least, is that its big gimmick is Titans. But I honestly don't even like being in the Titans. I love being a pilot on the ground. Pilots are just you when you're not on the ground. Like, that's your character if you don't play the game. But I love doing that. I honestly prefer to not be in the Titan. Like, yeah, it's fun. It's great. You know, just your big tank that can just fight and kill everything in sight. And that's fun. But I love the agility of being on the ground, of running around, using the grappling hook, sliding, wall running. They added so many great mechanics that it's honestly just better to be on the ground for me. And that's great. The fact that their biggest gimmick isn't even the best part of the game for me, that makes it a great game in my eyes. It's fast-paced. The time to kill is fairly fast. I mean, if you can like get hit by a side of like a grenade, like you'll survive and you'll get that like that red meter, and that's the most stressful situation of, okay, you take just looking at a bullet, you die. It's stressful. It's a lot of fun. You run away. You do the maneuvers. You dive through some cover. You dive into a tunnel. You do all these different things that just running away when you're such low health is the most exhilarating gameplay I've had in a first-person shooter in a long, long time. And I love that about this game. The fact that there's just so much going on all the time. It's so fast-paced, and there's just crazy stuff happening everywhere. It's a lot of fun, in my eyes. Again, I realize it's not going to be everyone's opinion, and that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But especially now that it's free on PlayStation Plus, you got no excuse not to try it if you have a PlayStation. Plus, it's probably only like maybe $20 everywhere else because it is a fairly old game at this point, and it's still, not very well known or well played. It's played quite a bit. You can still find servers, but it's not a huge seller, so you could probably get discounted for fairly cheap pretty much anywhere. So go and try it. that's really all I have to say about this one. It's a great game. Everyone should try it. I just love the fact that it's so old and it had such a just botched launch, but I can still find a game fairly easily. The only reason I'm really making this video is just because I want more people to experience it, because it really does deserve a lot more recognition than what it gets. I'm glad that Apex Legends is still doing fairly well, and I'm glad that Jedi Fallen Order is as amazing as it is, and Respawn's finally getting the credit it deserves. But Titanfall 3 should have been a thing by now, because Titanfall 2 should have been a huge game. Because I played the hell out of, I think it was Battlefield 1 was the Battlefield it was next to. I played a lot of it. And I enjoyed it. It had its problems and it wasn't really that great, but it was enjoyable. And then I picked up Titanfall 2 probably a couple months later because it was a huge sale because of such a botched launch it had. And I'm still playing that game to this day. So that just shows how much better this game is and how it really should have been given a lot more recognition if it was given that window to grow rather than just shut down instantly. So this is basically the same video I made last time, but that was over a year ago and pretty much no one watched it. So I'm remaking it. And also, I honestly don't even know what to talk about anymore. Borderlands 3 is just not fun to talk about anymore, and I really don't know what other games to discuss. So if there's any game out there you want my opinion on, or any particular aspect of anything in particular in life, I don't care. Let me know down in the comments, because I don't even know anymore. But as always, remember, the world doesn't know you anything, but keep your stick on the ice, because we're all in this together. See you in the next one. Bye.